Donald Trump is continuing to bully and mock his now official rival for the Republican nomination, Ron DeSantis, using the Florida governor's own words against him in a compilation on Truth Social. Intrigued? Then click that like and subscribe and enjoy the video. In this day and age, in the age of contemporary politics, it can sometimes be difficult to find things that bring you genuine joy, given the cynicism and hyperpartisanship, particularly on the right with the Republican Party. But every now and then, there are some things that bring you genuine joy. And one of them is the ongoing feud, the increasing and ongoing feud between Donald Trump and Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, who, as of a couple of weeks ago, is Trump's official, formal rival for the Republican nomination for president in 2024. And obviously, Donald Trump is leading in the polls by a healthy margin. Whatever competitiveness Ron DeSantis had, he has squandered over time. Now, obviously, we're relatively early on in the race, so it's entirely possible that he could regain ground. And he's certainly doing his best. But right now, the odds are in Trump's favor. And I want to play this clip here, I guess, before we unpack some more of it. But it's hilarious because, obviously, Donald Trump is a malignant narcissist and a buffoon and somebody who should be nowhere near the Oval Office. But one thing that he does have compared to Ron DeSantis, who is a relatively more polished politician, is unquestionably more intelligent than Trump, and under certain circumstances would probably be even more dangerous because given the right parameters, he would be a more effective politician, whereas Trump is effectively a bull in a china shop, so to speak. But one of Trump's advantages is the fact that he has some degree of personal charisma. I mean, he leads effectively what is the largest cult in the history of the United States, if not the world, which is, again, what the Republican Party has effectively become. Whereas Ron DeSantis has no personal charisma to speak of. So it's great to see Donald Trump on Truth Central, his second-rate social media platform, mock Ron DeSantis, using Ron DeSantis' own words and only Ron DeSantis' own words. So let's play the clip and we'll unpack it.
Donald Trump has done a better job of appointing judges, both on the Supreme Court and the courts of appeal, than any Republican president in modern times.
Donald Trump wrote The Art of the Deal. He knows how to negotiate. He's a master negotiator. Trump instinctively is tough on China. The strong horse is who they respect. The president's a strong horse. In Donald Trump's credit, nobody else was really willing to talk about that until he came on the scene. And he's leading with purpose and with conviction. And President Trump has followed through on that.
Donald Trump's gotten a heck of a lot done. I think President Trump kept his word.
Other presidents have promised it, and they reneged on their promise. He kept his promise.
But he said, we are going to deal with this one way or another. Just think of how big a mess this president inherited from Barack Obama. Yes, North Korea, Iran, ISIS caliphate, China on the move, Russia on the move, Syria in disarray. He inherited all of that. We've made a remarkable turnaround, and I think he deserves credit. I'm not sure the Washington Post will ever give him credit. They hate Trump. They hate people associated with him, and they let that show time and time again. It's really, really troubling. Now, look, they're not going to give him credit. This is all pre-cooked narratives. They have their anti-Trump narrative set.
Testing. All right, so that's hilarious. By any objective metric, that is hilarious. And I'm sure, the Trump campaign will use DeSantis' own words. Like that was a minute and a half, and I'm sure there was much more effusive praise out there in the years that Ron DeSantis has been active in the Republican Party while Donald Trump has been. So I'm sure they've got reams and reams and reams of material, and they should probably break it up into more digestible, 15, 20, 30-second ads, which I'm sure they will. And hopefully they do, because that's hilarious. Now, before we get into it, I just want to do a quick fact check here. So ironic for Governor DeSantis to talk about the mess that Donald Trump inherited from President Obama. Donald Trump did not inherit a mess from President Obama. He did not inherit a mess with North Korea. Donald Trump did not clean up a mess with North Korea. Donald Trump inherited a pretty stable situation between the United States and Iran with the Iran nuclear agreement. that Donald Trump shredded, and as a result, we are now closer than ever to Iran developing nuclear material and the capacity to use it. So he actually created a mess where there was none. The Obama-era economy was firing on all cylinders in the aftermath of Obama cleaning up a recession that he inherited from the previous Republican president, George W. Bush. And then, of course, as we've talked about again and again and again, Donald Trump presided over that economy just cratering, and then he handed it off to President Biden. So a lot of revisionist history there. That said, as far as the clip itself, it's really, really effective, I imagine, to quite a few people. Donald Trump, with his, again, malignant narcissism and buffoonery, doesn't appear in this compilation whatsoever, which is probably really, really good. It's always great when you can weaponize the words of the person who is running against you, right? Which actually, it's interesting because I'm not sure to what extent we've ever seen a situation like this before. DeSantis is in the unique position of having, built much of his gubernatorial career off his close association with Trump. So for years and years and years, he praised him, foisted, undeserved, outrageous, hyperbolic praise on Donald Trump for years, which now Trump can turn to and say, he said this about me, this about me, this about me. He can basically use Ron DeSantis to make a case for Donald Trump. Donald Trump can use Ron DeSantis to make a case for Donald Trump, even as Ron DeSantis runs against Donald Trump. And that, my friends, is hilarious.